Hey everybody, welcome back to the Time Machine Diaries. This is the podcast where we dig through the bones of history with a sarcastic grin and a grimace. Today's episode is not for the faint of heart. If you came for a cute time travel banner and tales of ancient waffles, you might want to skip this one, fam. Because today's story, it's a fucking horror film starring the U.S. government and the victims, men and women. First part. Welcome to Tuskegee, Alabama, a quaint little town where folks were promised medical help. Instead, they got a 40-year-long date with death. This ain't science fiction. This is historical nonfiction. You ready for this bullshit? Come on. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service, in collaboration with the prestigious Tuskegee Institute, launched something that they tried to call a study. They wanted to observe the effects of untreated syphilis, because apparently there was a shortage on lab rats. So they round up 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, 201 without, and they lie to every single one of them. These men are told that they have bad blood, a vague southern term that could mean anything from anemia to straight up fucking voodoo. Don't worry, they say. Uncle Sam is here to help. You'll get free health care, free meals, and burial insurance. Because nothing screams compassionate medicine like paying for the fucking hole you're gonna be dumped in. Then we jump to 1947. Penicillin is widely recognized as a cure for syphilis. The war is over. Antibiotics are in. People are being saved around the globe. So naturally, you'd expect these men to finally be treated, right? Fuck no. Because if they cure them, the experiment ends. Kind of has some modern comparisons to our health system. Like, I want you to think about it. If they really came up with a cure for cancer, wouldn't that put a lot of people out of a job? If they were able to cure all these diseases, a lot of the best and brightest would be out of a job. Just marinate on that. Instead, the doctors keep fucking lying. They withhold penicillin. They tell the local hospitals not to treat any of the participants. They sit back and take notes as men go blind, insane, and slowly die painful deaths. All while smiling and calling it fucking progress. Bad blood, they said. But the only thing bad here was the fucking science, the ethics, and the government. Well, shit. America too for covering it up. But what about informed consent? What about it? These men didn't sign up for an experiment. They signed up for help. And they got a fucking horror show. Some were illiterate. Most trusted the word of authority. The study was dressed up in the credibility of the Tuskegee Institute. A black institution that had been tricked into co-signing this fucking mess. It was like getting stabbed by someone wearing your mom's face. And when whistleblowers finally came forward, 40 years fucking later, the world finally learned what happened. Was there public outrage? Was there a massive settlement? Hard telling, not knowing. There was a formal apology from President Clinton in 1997, but that only took 65 fucking years, so there's that. This isn't just history. This is why people don't fucking trust doctors. This is why vaccine skepticism runs deep in all communities. It's not ignorance. It's memory. It's trauma passed down. Because the descendants of those men are still fucking alive. And they fucking remember. Their grandfathers were studied as they died for science. They remember the fake fucking smiles, the bullshit treatments, the corny ass free lunches that came with a side of fucking death. So next time someone says, why don't you trust the system, bro? Because the system once ran a horror show and my people were the fucking test subjects. And if you thought Tuskegee was a one-time fucking fluke in America's history, fuck, in the world's history, sit the fuck down. Hell, lie down. Matter of fact, go get a cold compress, some Dayquil, Benadryl, and maybe even some fucking Xanax. Let's talk about the Holmesburg Prison experiments. Picture it. Philadelphia, 1950s through the 1970s. A time of jukeboxes, soda fountains, and torture. Medical researcher Dr. Albert Kligman, the same fucking guy who later gave the world Retin A, looked at a bunch of incarcerated men, mostly poor and disenfranchised, and saw one thing: free lab rats with a pulse. He shows up to the prison and reportedly says,
"All I saw before me were acres of skin. It was like a farmer seeing a fertile field for the first time."
And when I read that, all I could think was, what the fuck? Who says that shit? That is some weird ass fucking shit to say, on God. So what did he do with these acres of skin? He tested cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, radioactive isotopes, skin blistering agents, mind-altering drugs, Agent Orange. Fuck, man, you name it. If it could cause pain, cancer, they slapped it on some poor dude's back and said science. Some of the guys were paid a few bucks. Others were coerced. Informed consent? Fuck, man, I'm dead. You really thought they had some shit about informed consent for an inmate? Come on now. Did you hear about Buddy at Fulton County Jail? This is the same jail that they did a 60 Days In episode on, and it was reportedly supposed to get fixed, and there was changes, massive changes. But anyway, that's a fucking fairy tale. Because once you become an inmate, you no longer are a person. So, back to Holmesburg. The data was great. And that's what really matters, right? Not the PTSD, the disfigurement, the cancer, or the basic concept of human dignity. You thought Tuskegee was bad? You might be thinking, Philadelphia is fucking terrible. Well, let me take you down south. Deeper than Alabama. I mean, South America. 1946. Welcome to Guatemala. That same public health service, with a few new sadistic flare upgrades. You know what? Let's stop observing and start infecting people on purpose. Sex workers, prisoners, mental health patients. Oh, you already know. All of them injected. Penicillin was used here too, but it wasn't to cure anybody. They were trying to see how contagion worked. Like syphilis was a new iOS update that they were beta testing. And guess what? Most of the victims didn't even know they were being experimented on. Not that they could have consented even if they did. If Tuskegee was a horror film, Guatemala was the torture porn sequel. And the craziest part? Nobody knew about this experiment until 2010. This shit was fucking buried deeper than common sense in a congressional hearing. Alright, deep breath. This part isn't scripted, it's just me. I think about these stories, and I don't just feel horror. I feel rage, sadness, and something heavier that I can't even name. Because these weren't fucking statistics. These were people. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives. Folks who trusted the doctors because they fucking had to. Because that was the only option. This kind of evil doesn't wear horns. It wears credentials. It speaks in grant money and research jargon. It hides behind patriotism and progress. It silences public media. And the fact that most people still don't know about any of this or even care is part of the crime. If you're listening and you're feeling that twist in your gut, good. Sit with it. Don't fucking run. Because the only way this shit stops happening is if people stay awake and stay loud. And the most terrifying thing is that some of these weren't even secret operations. They were fucking documented, published, and celebrated by the fucking medical community until suddenly, decades later, someone said, "Hey, wait a minute. That's kind of fucked." And that someone is never the guy running the experiments. It's always a whistleblower with a conscience and a fucking death wish. Let's be honest. The Deep South in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, fuck, even today, for African American men and women, isn't necessarily a great place for us to be. And you got brothers left and right killing each other over some bullshit. Like, that shit needs to stop. I don't know when that's gonna go away, if ever. Hot take. That all stems from the war on drugs to systematically dismantle African American families, lock up the fathers, kids raise themselves, and slowly the society and culture will dismantle itself. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I live in Minnesota, and you still see motherfuckers waving Confederate flags from the back of their truck, or a big Confederate flag sticker in the back of their truck. And that tells me that you support the enslavement of people, which is fucked up to even support. Hey, if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. I do all my own research. My wife helps me with editing. My father-in-law occasionally stars on the show, even though he hates it. We'll be back next week with something else unsettling. Probably involving powdered wigs, sea monsters, or fucking billionaires. Who knows? Until then, check the fucking fine print. And never trust a free needle. Thanks for listening to the Time Machine Diaries. This episode was not meant to be comfortable. It wasn't supposed to be cute. It was supposed to remind you history isn't dead. Sometimes, it's sitting in the waiting room with you. Until next time, if there is a next time, stay awake, stay alive, and for fuck's sake, always ask what's in the medicine. Take care.